I come from a place where comfort does not exist. The mountains teach you to breathe through struggle, to find peace in pain, and to move forward when the world tells you to stop. Where I grew up, every sunrise meant another chance to prove your strength, not to others, but to yourself. You learn early that no one is coming to save you. It's only your faith, your work, and your patience that stand beside you when life gets heavy. People often see the victories, but they never see the mornings when your body refuses to move or the nights when your mind wrestles with doubt. They don't see the sacrifices, the silence, the hunger, the discipline. But that's where destiny is written, not in the spotlight, but in the unseen hours. Humble origins are often the foundation upon which the strongest characters are built, and the story of rising from the rugged lands of Dagestan to global recognition embodies this truth completely. In a place where survival itself demands endurance, humility is not just a virtue, it's a necessity. The harsh landscape, the cold winds of the mountains, and the scarcity of comfort carve individuals into something deeper than mere competitors. They become warriors of patience and persistence. Growing up in such an environment means learning from an early age that life owes you nothing. Every meal, every victory, every breath must be earned with effort and sacrifice. It is a world where excuses hold no value and actions speak louder than words. The soil of Dagestan is not fertile with luxury. It is fertile with discipline, with faith, with the unshakable belief that nothing meaningful comes easy. In this environment, humility is not a choice but a natural result of reality. When you live close to struggle, you understand how fragile life is. You see people fighting daily battles, and you learn to respect every form of effort. There's no room for arrogance because life constantly reminds you of your limitations. The mountains surrounding you are silent teachers. They stand tall, unbending, and remind you that no matter how far you climb, something greater always exists above you. This awareness keeps ambition clean and grounded. It allows you to pursue excellence not for fame or recognition, but to honor your roots, your people, and your own personal code of discipline. Those born in humble beginnings carry a certain stillness within them, a quiet resilience that comes from years of enduring the uncomfortable. They grow up watching their families work tirelessly, often without complaint, and that becomes the first lesson in discipline. The elders teach through action more than words, showing how to remain strong when times are difficult, how to thank God for little, and how to stay committed to a goal even when the path is steep. This early exposure to hardship forms an inner structure that cannot be easily broken. It is in these moments that a child begins to understand what true strength means, not in loud displays of confidence, but in silent perseverance, in the ability to continue even when no one is watching. When one rises from such a background, every achievement carries the weight of every struggle faced along the way. The victories are not just personal, they represent a place, a culture, and a way of life that values simplicity, integrity, and resilience over all else. Those who grow up in the quiet villages and rugged hills of Dagestan learn to balance humility with ambition, to aim high without forgetting where their journey began. This balance is what creates greatness that lasts, because it is not built on ego or fame, but on a foundation of gratitude and hard work. Humble beginnings also teach perspective. When you come from a place of scarcity, you understand the worth of every opportunity. You don't take chances for granted, because you know what it feels like to have none. This makes you value training, discipline, and learning as gifts rather than burdens. Each day of progress feels like a blessing. Each hardship feels like a test of character. And through this mindset, the ego never finds space to dominate. You realize that the path to greatness is not about being better than others, but about being better than the person you were yesterday. The people of the mountains live with deep respect for life and its unpredictability. They grow up knowing that control is an illusion, and that humility before God, before nature, before time, is the only way to stay grounded. This awareness creates an unshakable calm in the face of chaos. It allows a person to enter the toughest battles with a peaceful heart and a focused mind. The noise of the world cannot disturb someone who has already faced silence and hardship at the roots of their journey. Such a person doesn't seek attention or approval, they seek growth. This is why humble origins often produce the most disciplined minds and strongest spirits. The environment trains them long before any arena or opponent does. Every obstacle becomes a teacher, every failure a form of guidance. The journey from the rough terrains of childhood to the world stage is not a story of luck but of mindset. A mindset shaped by the understanding that struggle is sacred. You learn to see the world not as something to conquer but as something to respect. You understand that strength without humility is empty and success without gratitude is meaningless. From humble beginnings comes a unique kind of greatness, one that is calm, consistent, and deeply rooted in respect. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to shout because it was built in silence. It's the kind of discipline that doesn't fade because it wasn't created for recognition. It was formed by nature, by struggle, by faith, and by the desire to honor one's journey through sincere effort and unwavering patience. Faith and focus are two forces that, when united, turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. They are not just habits or practices, they are a way of seeing and living. Faith gives direction when nothing else does, while focus ensures that direction turns into action. Together, they form the backbone of discipline and destiny. In a world filled with distractions, temptations, and constant noise, faith teaches you to trust the unseen, and focus teaches you to stay steady on the path that you've chosen. Without faith, focus becomes blind effort, and without focus, faith becomes empty belief. The power lies in balancing the two, trusting the process and acting with precision, no matter how uncertain the outcome looks. Faith begins where logic ends. It is born in moments of doubt, when strength fades and everything around you tells you to quit. It is not just belief in a higher power, but belief in the principles that guide your life. Discipline, patience, respect, and perseverance. Faith whispers that the pain you feel today is shaping the strength you will need tomorrow. It reminds you that success is not about what you see immediately, but what you're willing to wait and work for. It keeps your heart strong when results don't come quickly. Faith is not passive, it's an active commitment to the unseen. It's waking up every morning, repeating the same grind, and believing that someday it will all make sense. Focus, on the other hand, is the weapon that cuts through chaos. It's the ability to shut out noise, the opinions, doubts, and distractions that surround every journey. Focus transforms long-term goals into daily actions. It means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about training the mind to stay fixed on one purpose with the same intensity from the first day to the last. Focus turns the abstract idea of faith into visible progress. Where faith keeps your spirit alive, focus keeps your direction straight. Together, they create a rhythm that can't be easily broken. Faith pushes you forward when the road is dark, and focus keeps you from straying when the light appears. The bond between faith and focus defines how a warrior endures. Faith provides calm during uncertainty, allowing you to move with patience instead of panic. Focus, in turn, prevents you from drifting aimlessly when life tests your resolve. Many people lose their way because they have one without the other. They believe but never act, or they act but without belief. Real strength lies in walking with both. You trust the purpose even when you can't see the outcome, and you work tirelessly even when no one is watching. That combination is what separates the temporary from the timeless. In the quiet moments, when no crowd cheers and no one is around to validate your effort, faith and focus keep you going. They replace external motivation with internal fire. You start to realize that the real opponent is not outside but within. The part of you that doubts, hesitates, or fears. Faith teaches you to silence That voice with trust and focus teaches you to channel your energy toward your goals instead of your fears. This mental control becomes a spiritual discipline, and that discipline becomes an unstoppable force. In the culture where honor and patience are taught before ambition, faith is not just a belief, but a code. You grow up learning that every blessing comes at its appointed time, and that rushing destiny only weakens it. Focus then becomes the bridge that connects patience with progress. You train daily not because success is guaranteed, but because excellence is your duty. You pray and you practice, you trust and you act. Each repetition, each sacrifice, each small victory becomes a form of worship. Through this mindset, faith transforms from religion into rhythm, a steady pulse that keeps your purpose alive. When life becomes difficult, faith and focus turn pain into clarity. You stop asking why things happen and start asking what they are teaching you. Instead of chasing comfort, you chase growth. You learn to find peace in uncertainty because you trust that your path is already written and your job is to walk it with discipline and dignity. Focus ensures that every step you take aligns with that trust. Even when others give up, your eyes remain fixed forward. Faith gives you the strength to believe that the peak exists, and focus gives you the precision to climb it. Those who master faith and focus move differently, with calm confidence, not arrogance. They don't rush, they don't panic. They understand that timing is not in their control, but effort is. They work in silence, pray in gratitude, and trust in the results that patience will bring. Their discipline doesn't come from fear of failure, but from respect for the process. They know that everything valuable takes time, and everything rushed collapses easily. Faith gives you vision beyond what the eyes can see, and focus gives you the endurance to turn that vision into reality. One speaks to the heart, the other to the mind, and together they create a balance that few achieve. The man who has faith walks with peace, and the one who has focus moves with purpose. But the one who carries both, he cannot be stopped because his belief guides his effort, and his effort strengthens his belief, forming a cycle that keeps him moving forward no matter how high the mountain or how dark the path. Discipline over desire is one of the deepest lessons a person can learn in life, because desire is easy, but discipline is rare. Desire burns bright for a moment, discipline burns steady for a lifetime. Desire makes promises, but discipline fulfills them. Many people are ruled by what they feel in the moment, chasing comfort, pleasure, and shortcuts. Yet, the path to greatness has no space for those who follow feelings over focus. It demands control over impulse and mastery over emotion. True discipline begins when motivation fades, when there is no excitement left, only responsibility. That is the point where most people stop, but the disciplined keep going because their reason is stronger than their mood. From the mountains to the mat, from the early mornings to the endless training hours, discipline becomes the silent companion of every success story. It is not built in a day, it is shaped by thousands of small choices that no one sees. Waking up when your body wants to rest, training when your mind wants to quit, saying no to comfort when the world tells you to take it. These moments define who you are. Discipline is not about punishment, it is about freedom, the freedom to rise above weakness, laziness, and distraction. It gives you control over yourself, which is the highest form of power a person can possess. Desire whispers easy promises. It tells you that one more break won't hurt, that you deserve rest before the job is done, that you can start tomorrow. But discipline doesn't speak softly, it demands action. It reminds you of your goal and forces you to stay loyal to it, even when everything inside you wants to escape. The mind is always searching for an excuse, but discipline closes every door that leads away from progress. That is why disciplined people appear calm, because they no longer negotiate with themselves. They've decided once, and they live by that decision daily. There is peace in that kind of control. In a world driven by instant gratification, discipline feels almost unnatural. Everyone wants fast results, but real strength is built in silence and repetition, not in moments of excitement. Discipline teaches patience, to keep moving when progress feels invisible, to trust the process when results are far away. It trains the body, but more importantly, it trains the mind. It tells the heart that you cannot always have what you want, but you can always do what you must. The difference between those who reach their destiny and those who don't is not talent or luck. It's the ability to act with consistency, even when desire disappears. Desire is temporary, it burns hot and fades fast. It can inspire you to start, but only discipline can carry you to the end. A person guided by desire will chase every new idea, every easy path, and end up exhausted and empty. A disciplined person chooses one road and walks it, step by step, even through darkness. They understand that mastery is not achieved by doing many things once, but one thing many times. The repetition may seem boring, but that is where transformation happens. In the quiet, consistent effort that no one applauds, discipline also builds respect, both for yourself and from others. When you control your actions, people feel your strength without you needing to prove it. You no longer live by impulse, but by intention. That control earns trust because people know your word means something. When you say you will do it, it gets done regardless of how you feel. Desire changes with mood, but discipline stays constant. That consistency becomes your identity. The solid ground beneath every success you build. In every champion, discipline replaces emotion as the driver. There are days when pain screams louder than purpose, when the world doubts you, and when fatigue clouds your judgment. In those moments, desire is useless. Only discipline stands firm. It becomes your armor, your guide, your anchor. You stop needing to feel ready because you've already trained yourself to act regardless of feeling. That mindset separates those who try from those who triumph. Desire often comes from ego, the wish to be seen, to be praised, to win easily. Discipline comes from humility, the understanding that greatness is earned one small step at a time. You start to respect the grind instead of resenting it. You start to appreciate routine instead of boredom. Every repetition, every sacrifice becomes part of your identity. You don't chase rewards anymore, you chase refinement. And when rewards come, you're already ready because discipline prepared you long before the moment arrived. Discipline over desire is not a slogan, it's a way of living. It's waking up every day and choosing purpose over pleasure, consistency over comfort, patience over pride. It's understanding that success is not an explosion. It's a slow burn that demands your full commitment. The disciplined mind learns to silence temptation and stay true to the mission. It does not depend on mood or motivation because it has already chosen the harder road, the road that leads to mastery. The world often celebrates talent, but talent without discipline is like fire without oxygen. It burns for a moment and dies. Discipline keeps the fire alive. It builds character, endurance, and integrity. When desire fades, discipline takes over, carrying you across the finish line with quiet strength and unshakable faith in your purpose. Respect and legacy are the invisible pillars that define the life of a true warrior. They are what remain when victories fade, when cheers quiet down, and when the lights turn off. Respect is not demanded. It is earned through humility, discipline, and consistency. Legacy is not built overnight. It is carved slowly through years of action, sacrifice, and the example one sets for others. A man guided by respect understands that strength without honor is empty, and victory without humility is meaningless. The path to greatness is not only about how far one goes, but about how one carries themselves on the journey. The measure of a person's worth is not how many they defeat, but how many they inspire through their character and conduct. Respect begins within, in the way one treats themselves, their craft, their family, and their opponents. It comes from knowing that every person you meet has fought their own battles, and every struggle deserves acknowledgement. True strength is never arrogant because it understands its own fragility. A person who respects others doesn't lose power, they gain depth. They realize that respect keeps the ego in check and prevents success from turning into pride. In the discipline of combat or any pursuit of excellence, respect separates the disciplined from the reckless, the humble from the proud. It is what gives the fighter purpose beyond winning. It turns competition into a test of character, rather than a display of dominance. From a young age, those who come from environments of struggle and tradition are taught that respect is sacred. You honor your elders, your teachers, your parents, and even your rivals. You learn to bow your head not because you are weak, but because humility is a form of strength that arrogance can never reach. Respect is what binds communities and generations together. It carries wisdom forward. A person who forgets respect loses guidance, because without it, discipline loses direction and success loses soul. Respect creates balance. It allows ambition to coexist with gratitude. It reminds you that no matter how far you rise, you are always standing on the lessons and sacrifices of those who came before you. Legacy, on the other hand, is the shadow your life leaves behind. It is not written by words or wealth, but by actions and values. Legacy is what people remember about you when your voice is silent. It is built in how you treat others, how you carry responsibility, and how you represent what you believe in. A person living for legacy doesn't chase fame, they chase impact. They live with awareness that every move, every word, every decision plants a seed that will grow in someone else's mind long after they're gone. When your mission becomes bigger than yourself, your life begins to echo beyond your lifetime. That is legacy. The continuation of your principles through others. Respect and legacy are inseparable because one leads to the other. Without respect, legacy becomes hollow. You can win everything and still lose what truly matters if you forget to honor the people, the process, and the principles that shaped you. But when respect guides your steps, your victories gain meaning. You start to see every challenge as an opportunity to represent your values. You compete with integrity, you win with grace, and you accept loss with dignity. That kind of attitude builds a legacy that no amount of fame can replace. People may forget your records, but they never forget how you made them feel, how you inspired them, or how you carried yourself in both triumph and defeat. The essence of respect lies in gratitude. To respect your journey means to acknowledge the struggles that shaped it. It means never looking down on others, no matter how high you climb. It means remembering your roots, your teachers, your culture, and your faith, the foundation upon which your entire story stands. A man who carries respect in his heart never loses his way, because respect keeps him grounded when success tries to lift him too high, and it lifts him when failure tries to bring him too low. Legacy begins the moment you realize that your life is not just your own. Every word you speak, every action you take influences those watching you. The younger generation, your students, your followers, your own family. They observe how you handle success, how you deal with adversity, how you speak when no one is listening. That silent influence is more powerful than any title or achievement. It shapes the next generation, teaching them what true greatness looks like, not in the noise of fame, but in the quiet strength of character. In the end, respect and legacy define the spirit of a true champion. Respect keeps the heart pure, legacy gives the journey purpose. Together, they ensure that a person's impact extends far beyond their physical presence. To live with respect is to live with humility, gratitude, and integrity. To live for legacy is to live for something eternal, for the lessons, the faith, and the values that will continue to move hearts long after the fighter's hands are still and the arena grows quiet. Turning pain into power is one of the most transformative abilities a human being can develop. Pain is something every person faces. Physical, emotional, or spiritual. Yet it is how one responds to that pain that determines their destiny. Some allow it to break them. Others use it as the fire that forges their strength. The difference lies in perception. Pain can either be seen as a punishment or as preparation. The mind that learns to endure hardship without losing hope becomes unshakable. When pain stops being an enemy and starts being a teacher, it begins to shape resilience, patience, and clarity in ways that comfort never could. Greatness is rarely born from ease. It is carved through struggle, through nights of doubt, and through days where every step feels heavy. In the early stages of any journey, pain often appears as resistance. It is the barrier that separates the weak from the strong, the impatient from the disciplined. But pain is not there to stop you. It is there to test your desire. It asks a question only few can answer. How much are you willing to endure for your purpose? Every great life story begins with this test. The difference between those who quit and those who rise is not the amount of pain they face, but the meaning they attach to it. When pain is seen as proof that growth is happening, it becomes fuel instead of fear. It is no longer something to escape, but something to use. Pain humbles the heart. It strips away illusion and ego, forcing you to see life with clarity. It teaches you that strength isn't loud or proud. It is quiet, patient, and often unseen. Pain reminds you that you are not in control of everything, and that surrendering to the process is part of becoming whole. Many people try to avoid pain their entire lives, but those who embrace it learn truths that no comfort can teach. It builds empathy because once you have suffered, you understand others who are suffering. It builds discipline because you learn that even in agony, you must keep moving forward. And it builds gratitude because when you've experienced darkness, even the smallest light feels sacred. For a fighter, pain is part of daily existence. The body aches, the mind tires, and doubt whispers constantly. But through every strike, every fall, every loss, the body and mind are being reshaped. Pain becomes a language, one that teaches endurance and respect. Each time you push through discomfort, you discover that your limits were never real, they were only fears waiting to be challenged. The more you face pain with patience, the more it transforms from suffering into strength. It sharpens your focus and deepens your resolve. It turns fragile emotions into iron discipline. Eventually, you stop fearing pain altogether because you realize it no longer controls you. You control it. Turning pain into power also means understanding that not all pain is physical. Emotional pain, loss, failure, rejection can be even heavier, but even these wounds carry lessons. Failure teaches humility, heartbreak teaches gratitude, and loss teaches appreciation for time and life. These experiences shape your spirit far more than success ever could. The ones who rise from such pain become unbreakable, not because they avoid suffering, but because they face it and find meaning within it. They stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That simple shift turns pain into purpose. Pain also reveals character. When life becomes unbearable, it shows who truly believes in their path. Many speak of faith when life is easy, but only those who hold faith through suffering truly understand it. Pain removes the noise, the distractions, the arrogance, the temporary motivations, and leaves only truth. It forces you to choose between quitting and growing. Every time you choose growth, you reclaim a part of yourself that pain tried to destroy. That is how pain becomes power. Not through avoiding it, but through mastering it. The strongest individuals are not those who have never suffered, but those who have suffered and chosen not to stay broken. They carry their scars as reminders, not as regrets. Each scar tells a story of survival, of lessons learned, and of resilience gained. Instead of hiding their pain, they use it as a foundation for wisdom and strength. Pain becomes memory, and memory becomes motivation. It shapes humility, patience, and compassion, qualities that define true greatness. There comes a moment in every struggle when the pain feels unbearable, when the body is exhausted and the mind begins to doubt. That is the moment when transformation happens. When you refuse to give up, when you endure one more minute, one more step, one more fight. That's when pain loses its power to break you. it becomes a reminder that you can withstand anything. Through that endurance.